Joining us now is Lenny DePaul, a former chief inspector and commander with the U.S. Marshals, and ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams. And Lenny, we're going to start with you. We saw in that piece that Brian Laundrie's sister, she seemed to be distancing herself from her parents and saying she's not sure if they were involved in Brian's disappearance. What do you make of that?
Well, good morning, Michael, and good to be with you. But I tend to believe Cassie. I mean, she's forthcoming. You know, you look for those nonverbal communications in any conversation. She didn't have them. You know, she gives up a lot of things. She tells us that Brian, you know, he jumped on a plane after that incident in Utah and came back to Florida, then went back out there. So I tend to believe her. And again, she's forthcoming. So the parents may be just kind of taking a step back and not wanting to, you know, get her involved and whatnot. So.
She also gave some more detail about Brian's survival skills. Do you think law enforcement should focus on these remote areas, or is it more possible that he left the country?
I don't think he left the country, George. It's not his makeup. I do think he could possibly be on the Appalachian Trail. I mean, she even said he's survived out there. He's gone out there by himself for weeks at a time. So I would focus and concentrate on that area, and I'm sure they're doing that.
Dan, we want to get your input as well. You know, as we said, we heard from Cassie right there. And she says that her parents claim that their attorney have told them not to discuss Brian with her. What do you make of that?
You know, it's a little bit odd, right? Because typically what an attorney will do is tell their client, who in theory should be Brian Laundrie here, and I guess it's the parents too, but I understand him saying to Brian Laundrie, look, don't talk, don't say anything, etc. Telling the parents not to talk, in particular not to talk to the daughter about anything, does suggest that there's something that the parents may know that the lawyer doesn't want them to disclose. But, you know, it's hard to know for sure.
And Brian is facing charges. Prosecutors said there could be more charges on the way. Does that mean anything? Does it change anything for the parents if they are involved with his disappearance?
Yeah, it depends on that timeline. That's something we talked about before, right? Before or after the arrest warrant, right? The minute that arrest warrant was issued, if they assisted him, they are harboring a fugitive potentially, or they're aiding, et cetera, in some way. If it was before the arrest warrant was issued and he was just a person of interest and they were with him, for example, as long as they didn't specifically lie to the authorities and send them on some wild goose chase, then they're probably not legally responsible. And I think that may be the key with regard to Cassie, too, is the parents may know something in that period before he'd had an arrest warrant, which they don't want to disclose.
And Lenny, Cassie is asking Brian to come forward. Gabby's parents are asking Brian to come forward as well. Does that make any difference?
It does, George, if they can get the message to him. I mean, he's laying low. He's off the grid. He's definitely not communicating as far as I know. So, and he's scared. He's certainly sleeping with one eye open. So, yeah, if he gets that message, he may very well turn himself in. But he's on the run, George. And you know what I always say, you can run, but you can't hide. And when you run, you only go to jail tired.
That's one way of putting it, Lenny.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, thank you both. Thank you both very much. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.